Bluegrass Grammy winner Billy Strings embodies the spirit of Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't, or maybe you disagree. I will explain further, but first, here are a couple of Billy's Grateful Dead covers. No set list is the same, and Billy typically covers at least one Grateful Dead song a show. Notice the soulfulness in his voice and his guitar playing.
Don't you let that deal go down, oh no. Don't murder me. If ever I return, pretty Peggy, oh, lift my head. The counts, why they call me Jackaro. Born to me, Cassidy.
Though Jerry Garcia will always be in a league of his own, Billy, who was born just 3 years and 6 days before Jerry Garcia's passing, exhibits many similar traits to Jerry Garcia. Firstly, Jerry Garcia and Billy Strings share dexterity in multiple genres of music, especially bluegrass. As many Jerry Garcia fans know, Jerry Garcia's musical journey started not on the guitar, but on the banjo, playing bluegrass music. Garcia stated in an interview, "I didn't really start to get serious about music until I was 18, and I heard my first bluegrass music. I heard Earl Scruggs play 5-string banjo, and I thought, that's something I have to be able to do. I fell in love with the sound, and I started earnestly trying to do exactly what I was hearing. That became the basis for everything else. That bluegrass was my model." Yet as we all know, Jerry is and was so much more than a bluegrass player. Jerry Garcia became famous as a rock guitarist with the Grateful Dead, playing mostly rock and roll music. But the Grateful Dead and Jerry were much more than a rock band. They collectively embraced many genres of music and combined them as part of their own unique sound. The Grateful Dead played many traditional folk, rock, and contemporary covers. So the Grateful Dead covered these songs with a sublime vibrancy unlike any other group. Songs like Morning Dew, Peggy O, I Know You Rider, Not Fade Away, and Me and My Uncle were all covers. Jerry was also a skilled acoustic guitarist, and many of his best songs are Americana folk-twinged tracks. Listen to Jerry's acoustic guitar on early 1970s album releases of American Beauty and Working Man's Dead, 1980s Reckoning, and his early 1990s acoustic collaborations with mandolist David Grisman, especially Garcia Grisman, and Not for Kids Only. Also, check out the Dead's first set from May 2nd, 1970. Billy Strings plays with this same embrace of music as a larger collective. Billy doesn't limit his playing to bluegrass or rock or any genre. Though Billy Strings started as a bluegrass guitar player, Billy plays many covers, and each with his own style. Yes, Billy is one of the world's most technically proficient bluegrass players, with blazing fast licks. But just like Jerry Garcia, Billy Strings uses his dexterity on the guitar to express his soul through his instrument, and to thereby create elevated, sublime music that transcends genre. Billy's connection to Jerry Garcia is much deeper than just covering the Grateful Dead. As Billy himself has said, finding Jerry's music opened up so many doors for me as a musician. It taught me that music is boundaryless. Instead of just playing a quick 30-second solo, I started to take songs for a ride. I began understanding that it keeps going deeper and deeper. So what is it about bluegrass that unites Billy Strings and Jerry Garcia? Well, bluegrass features acoustic, stringed instruments and emphasizes the offbeat. Notes are anticipated, in contrast to laid-back blues where notes are behind the beat, which creates the higher energy characteristic of bluegrass. Listen to any of Jerry's solos or Billy's solos, and you will hear the bluegrass influence in how they both have a firm grasp of rhythm. Billy and Jerry can do more with the same space afforded to all musicians, because they aren't always using their guitar licks and guitar runs only to anticipate downbeats and reach a conclusion. Billy Strings cares, and Jerry Garcia cared, about using the guitar to tell evocative stories and express intangible emotions. They both try to use all the notes they play, especially those in-between notes, to add a dynamic emotional depth and texture to their music that one must hear to fully appreciate. As Billy has said about Jerry Garcia, Jerry's speaking with his guitar. He's making conversation. Jerry can play guitar like somebody who just lost their son or daughter. He can play guitar like somebody who just fell in love for the first time, or like somebody who just won the lottery, or like somebody who just ran over their dog. The ability to just pull that emotion out of the ether and regurgitate it through your guitar is magic in itself. What I've taken away from Jerry's playing is that it's not always about what's written down or simply playing scales. It's about figuring out the music in real time, making up musical ideas and talking with your guitar. What I learned from Jerry was the freedom of filling the empty space. Billy Strings is quickly becoming the most respected current live band. Billy has become so popular partly because of his embrace of exploring music in real time through improvisation and melodic exploration, just like Jerry Garcia did throughout his lifetime. Grateful Dead and Billy both embrace a similar improvisational jam philosophy that extends from a bluegrass influence but becomes so much more. Billy and the Dead both create ambient soundscapes and musical textures that comfort listeners as much as they transport them into strange musical unknowns. Unlike the Dead, however, Billy's playing and shows embrace more acoustic bluegrass covers and live drums. Billy has progressed into his own style that could best be described as a technically gifted, nimble technique that is often channeled through a Jerry Garcia-esque lens of imaginative, melodically expressive solos. Billy has emphasized the importance of the Grateful Dead on his playing when he said, "I realize the Grateful Dead is quite possibly the world's best live music band. I'm so glad I saw the light. I'm so glad that I acquired the taste. I can hear Jerry's guitar ringing out like a lighthouse in an ocean storm, leading us home to safety." Billy has also said that Jerry taught him that music has no boundaries. You can play jazz, rock and roll, acoustic music, bluegrass, whatever you want. It's all just there. It's all music, and you can play it on any instrument. There is no law. There are no rules. It's music, man, so just have fun. Some might not like Billy's voice or his style of playing, but many people also don't like the Grateful Dead. The one thing you must respect about Billy is that such a young adult is carrying on the legacy of the Grateful Dead in his own way. Billy Strings is extremely passionate about Jerry Garcia. Billy sings and plays with nearly as much soul as Jerry. Moreover, Billy Strings is trying to break musical boundaries and explore new musical territories with every show, just as Jerry Garcia did throughout his entire lifetime. Billy first discovered Jerry through David Grisman, also known as Dog. Growing up a bluegrass fanatic, Billy watched Grateful Dog at age 7 just to see David Grisman. While watching the film, Billy realized that Jerry Garcia was also a musician worth caring about. Billy decided to check out the Grateful Dead after watching the film. He stated, "I started with Casey Jones and really loved it. I put the song on my iPod so that I could listen to it when I was going to school or skateboarding. Then I decided to check out some live Grateful Dead because I had heard so much about it. I'll admit that I didn't get it at first. It sounded to me like 5 guys simultaneously playing 5 different songs. I couldn't appreciate a sick dark star or estimated prophet. I was stuck in the mindset of a bluegrass musician. I was locked into the world of only playing the melody. But then a few years ago, something just clicked. and I finally realized the importance of taking chances in the moment while the audience is there with you. That is the very essence of what I'm doing with my band. I wouldn't be where I am today without Jerry and the Dead. Billy Strings is a Deadhead. Billy has shown his love for the Grateful Dead through his many Dead covers, and by playing with Bill Kreutzmann's Grateful Dead cover band Billy and the Kids. There are so many Grateful Dead songs Billy Strings has never publicly performed, though I'm sure he will continue sharing new Grateful Dead covers over each coming year. With every Billy Strings show, Billy continues to spread the spirit and joy of the Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia for all, but especially for younger generations and future generations to come. May Jerry Garcia be forever remembered, and thank you, Billy Strings.